and then they just handed you this goodie bag, which was pretty cool. You got this like cool little program, which is just kind of
nice.
It's like packed with interviews with all the people that were there. You got a copy of Living Daylights on DVD. And then we got Alec Mills, who was there. He was giving away copies of his book, so you got a free copy of that, which was great. Managed to get it signed as well. It's called Shooting 007 and Other Celluloid Adventures. And he signed it for me, which is cool. There it is.
Was he a nice guy?
He was a dude, man. He was an absolute legend. Yeah. So when it's like he was just sat at the table kind of signing, and I just had a little chat, told him my name and who to sign to and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, is it okay if I take a quick photo? And he's like, yeah, of course. So I kind of got down on my knee next to the thing and held my phone out. And he's like, no. You need a lot less headroom. Come on, you need to go and study composition. Come on, look at this. This is disgraceful. And he's holding my camera for me and like framing it perfectly and all this kind of stuff. What a dude. What a legend. I loved him. But yeah, so as I walk in, I'm just sort of leafing through my goodie bag. And what I didn't realise is I'm immediately surrounded by the cast and crew of Living Daylights, with none of the other fans are there because they're all watching the film. So I was like, oh my God, like the first person I laid eyes on as I walked in the door was Saunders. And then there's all these faces that I sort of half recognised and wasn't quite sure. I was like, why do I know that? Who is that? So I'm like leafing through my program, trying to sort of put names to faces. And then I spotted the two double O's from the pre-title sequence immediately. I was like, you can just see that that's them kind of thing. Yeah. So I grabbed a photo with them, which was amazing.
That photo was so good. I loved it. And you were like the additional double O.
That's it. Yeah, completely. That's what I was going for anyway. And yeah, so it was cool. It was really weird. Like it wasn't quite what I expected in the sense that everyone was just so accessible, in the sense that the main kind of part was in the kind of the mansion bit, and there was like a main room with loads of tables set up with stalls, people selling books and memorabilia and all that kind of stuff, and that's where they were all sitting doing their signings. And then the next room was like a bar, and then you had an outside area where all the food was, and then the gardens, and people were just milling around. It wasn't like there was any barriers between you and the guests at all. There was a media room as well, which like a little theatre set up where they were showing like behind the scenes stuff, and they had a Q&A and all that kind of business. But I tell you what, man, the garden tour was amazing. Basically, you start off, and I didn't even realise where I was at the time, but you basically start off on the outside kind of patio bit. And like, right, come on, follow me. Then we're going to go on this. We'll go and show you the sights. And you walk down the steps and you sort of walk along, and then you turn around and look at the building you were just in. And it's Spectre Island, like from Russia with Love, that bit at the beginning where Connery gets garroted and stuff and all the lights come on, that huge house in the background is the house we were in at Pinewood. So it's like, oh man. Nice. And like the steps we walked down were the steps Gogol walks, well, not Gogol, but Morsney walks down at the beginning and checks Red Grant's time and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh man, that's incredible. And then the other thing about that is the corner of that part, there's like 3 archways. And that was the shot of the statue getting beheaded by Oddjob in Goldfinger. So they shot that kind of sequence at the golf club, which is about 5 miles down the road. But the actual shot of the statue being beheaded was filmed at Pinewood. And like it looks exactly the same. The only difference is it's got a white coat of paint on it now. Instead, it was natural brick or whatever in the film.
And the statue's not there, which is a shame.
Statue. Yeah, you would have thought they would have kept the statue. Yeah,
that would have been so good.
That would have been amazing. So then we walked around a little bit more, and we found like the hedges that Connery's creeping around and Red Grant are creeping around. And you can see some of the statues that you see in the film are just standing there. And the bridge, at the very, very beginning, you see the guy come over the bridge and you see Red Grant following over the bridge.
That's what I loved. When I went there a few years ago, that was the thing that got me, was seeing that bridge with the footsteps coming down. Yeah. It
was like, oh man, there's the bridge. And then literally right next to the bridge, they were like, oh yeah, that's where Red Grant gets his massage. And at roughly the same spot, that's where Bond and Honey hid underneath the parachute at the end. Like all blasé. And I'm just looking at this patch of grass. And he was like, oh yeah, if you look at those trees over there, that's where you see the search helicopter that's looking at them comes over the trees. And then as soon as you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, there it is. Like you can just, the shape of trees is such a random thing. But when you look at them, you've seen that scene so many times. It's like, there's the trees. And then, so you go over the bridge and there's a really lovely memorial to Desmond Llewellyn. It's like a little stone kind of thing that says dedicated to Q, Desmond Llewellyn, which was really lovely. And then you walk around a little bit more and there's like a little sort of lake. And and that's Renard's cave from The World Is Not Enough. The one he comes out with all the hot stones and stuff, and you can actually look inside it, and it goes to like it's weird. You go inside this little cave, and there's like a little jetty almost where you would moor up a boat and take it out on the little lake, which is pretty cool. So we got to go inside Renard's cave. But I think the thing that excites me most in life is that whole thing of seeing where Bond was filmed, you know, and stuff like From Russia with Love and Goldfinger, like seeing those spots where it actually happened is just amazing. Yeah,
and they've hardly changed as well.
No, absolutely. Like obviously, as soon as I got home, I'm taking loads of photos. As soon as I got home, I'm like YouTubing those scenes and like matching it up and being like, yeah, look, I can see that tree in the background, or yeah, look, I can see that bit. It's amazing. Like the whole thing was great. You know, I got to meet Koskov, got my photo taken with him, got to meet Kara. All of these guys, it was amazing, so good.
Was there anyone who was like particularly sort of nice, or who was the sort of best person that you met?
Well, I learned something, which is how to pronounce Koskov's first name. Right, everyone says Jeroen Krabbe, which is his real name, obviously, but apparently it's Jeroen. So it was like, oh, okay, interesting. But man, that guy. What a legend. Like, what a nice guy. He told a story on stage that when he was a younger actor, he would write letters to all of his favourite actors, like, you know, fan mail, basically. And he said he never, ever got a single reply ever to any of those letters. So he vowed to himself that if he ever became famous, he would respond to every single fan letter. And he says, to this day, 27 years later after Living Daylights, he gets fan mail every week talking about that role. And he makes sure he hand writes an answer to every single one. Isn't that lovely?
That is amazing. Yeah. That's so cool.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I might have to write one now just to make sure it's true.
That was a mental note immediately in my mind. I was like, right, I've got to write him a letter now. That's it.
Yeah,
job done.
Yeah, that's it. We'll see if he's telling the truth.
Yeah, you definitely got with him. Like, just you could tell he was just a lovely, really nice guy. Which is
that's what we want, isn't it? Yeah. It's just nice people. That's what you want. Nice people. Yeah, and you saw the Aston. I saw the Aston was there as well.
Yeah, they had that on the lawn, and they kind of started it up, and so you could hear the engine and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, which is pretty cool. But yeah, man, an amazing day all round. I would go again tomorrow, definitely. Like, you know what I mean? If there was something on, so I hope next year's is a cool event. We can go again.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, like, we've had a few people, obviously, you put quite a few photos on the Facebook page, which were great. And we've had a few people who've come in who said they were there, and obviously they either didn't see you or they weren't quite sure. So I suggested to one or two of them what might be cool is as soon as we know one's on next year, is we'll get our own little James Bond radio crew going, like get a few of us there, meet up and get a group of us if we can.
That'll be amazing. Yeah.
That'd be so good.
Definitely going next year. Brilliant stuff.